Welcome to the New York Jets Flight Plan. I'm Michael McLaughlin, here with Brendan McLaughlin in Warren, New Jersey. We're going to be talking about all things Jets, the scary things, the exciting things that happened in last night's preseason games. There was a mixture of both, whether it be Antonio Allen trying to make the transition from safety to cornerback, the debut of Calvin Pryor and all the hitting he did, and how did the Jets stack up with the rest of their division rivals. A lot of people who think, Bills, this is a sleeper team. They're gonna be second in the division, maybe make the playoffs. And if that happens, I'll be shocked. I'll put that on the record right now, because one, their best defensive player, or their two best defensive players, are not playing for them this year. One, Kiko Alonso, who some people thought should have been Rookie of the Year over Sheldon Richardson of the Jets last year.
He tore his ACL.
Tore his ACL. He's out the year. I don't think he's better than Sheldon, but nonetheless, he was their best defensive player.
Right.
Maybe him and Mario Williams left.
Right.
He's out for the year.
And
So that improvement.
Right.
There's improvement there, right? Now, Jarius Byrd, who a lot of people think is the best ball hawking safety in the NFL. Well, he signed a massive contract with the New Orleans Saints, so he's gone there. How are they filling in these holes? And then, yes, do you have Mario Williams, who had like the biggest contract in the history, defensive contract in the history of the NFL.
With Marcel Dallas and Kyle Williams.
And Marcel Dallas showed up out of shape to camp.
Yeah.
So
He failed his condition
and
test.
Mario Williams is kind of like an accumulator. I feel like he just accumulates sacks, so somehow not making as much an impact on the game as his numbers would say. So I'm not very bullish on them, particularly with Sammy Watkins last night. Injured his ribs, his back. They're saying it's his ribs. It looked like his back. He was grabbing his back.
Right.
But still, they traded all those picks for him, and who knows how long he's going to be out. So I think people have to pump the brakes on the Bills. They're still the Buffalo Bills, okay? So this is...
No one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills, like they say.
They don't circle them at all. They just lose. So I'm not worried about them. Now, with the Jets and the Dolphins, honestly, I think the Dolphins, people are too low on the Dolphins. After last year happened, I think, they did shore up the offensive line a little bit. I mean, they were 8-6 last year before they lost the final two games. So they did collapse a little bit, and I think Ryan Tannehill will take that leap this year, as he showed in the first preseason game, not so much as last night, but the first preseason game where he played very well. They'll be better, and they do have some weapons.
Yeah.
But still,
Wide receiving core is very deep this year.
I don't think any of their wide receivers are fantastic, though. That's my one thing with them.
They got the depth.
And I'm worried about the running game, because they were 26th last year. The Jets are 6th. I think the Jets running game have a much better running game than the Dolphins. They have Cameron Wake. They have a good defensive front. I think the Jets have a better defensive front. Linebacker core, if Demario Davis is taking the steps that he's shown in the preseason in the leadership, and is his third year, if he takes those steps, I think the Jets are going to have a better linebacker core. Then the problem becomes the secondary.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think, and then if you want to say it's close at all, while Rex Ryan, a lot of people make fun of him, sometimes think he makes buffoonish comments, I don't have much faith in Joe Philbin. He couldn't handle that locker room last year. So I think the Jets are going to take second in the division. The Patriots are going to take it because they are the Patriots. That's what they do. They had the most talented team, particularly with Tom Brady still. Now, if the Patriots are the biggest threat, who's their biggest offensive threat besides Tom Brady?
I guess it's Julian Edelman, slot receiver. Before he was a really good target for Tom Brady. While they still had Wes Welker, and then he filled in Wes Welker and filled in very well for him. And with Rob Gronkowski, very injury prone, I gotta say Edelman is their top weapon besides Tom Brady.
The thing is, Gronkowski is injury prone, but I want to read some stats. If this was over, Rob Gronkowski, he played 7 games last year, and he had 39 catches, 592 yards, and 4 touchdowns. Now, if you extrapolate that across the 16-game season with those averages, say he played all 16 games, which is, that's a big question mark with him, whether he could actually stay that healthy. But if he did, that would have been 89 catches, 1,353 yards, and 9 touchdowns. And that's just pure domination at the tight end position. So we all know if he's on the field and healthy, besides maybe Jimmy Graham, there's just no one close to him at that good level. So if he's on the field, he still is the biggest threat. And the Jets have to find someone who can cover him. And I think Antonio Allen can cover him. Because, last year there's 13 targets, Gronk caught 5, and Antonio Allen did have that interception in return for a touchdown. His best player of the year.
That's right.
So
not one against the Patriots.
So I think if you want the safe money is on Julian Edelman. That's who the Jets have to worry about the most. Because who knows if Gronk will actually be able to play. But if he shows up, he suits up, he steps on the field, it immediately becomes
Yeah.
Rob Gronkowski. Do you disagree with that?
No. Well, I don't think we'll see how he recovers from the torn ACL, but I'll stay with Edelman though because he just stays healthy more and
He's more consistent present.
Right.
He doesn't have the injury problems that Gronkowski has. Now, when we come back, we're gonna have possibly my favorite segment on the show, the BS meter. A lot of people think there's a lot of BS going on at Jets camp. We'll talk a little bit about it.